On the front pages right now, shall we? Because the shooting in Liverpool dominates many today. Quite clearly, the Eye says Olivia Pratt-Corbell has become the youngest ever person in the UK to lose their life to the violence of organised crime. The Express calls her an innocent victim of the gun wars. This is the front of the Sun, gunned down at bedtime and left to die. The Mirror sums up the story in one word: unbearable. The Mail describes its own image of Olivia as a picture of innocence to shame lawless Britain. Metro pleads, tell us who killed little Olivia. The Liverpool Echo responds to the murder of the 9-year-old and news that the gunman and his accomplices drove off without helping her by asking the community, whose side are you on? The FT today leads with the Chief Executive of Scottish Power telling ministers that a rescue plan to protect households from rising bills will need funding of more than £100 billion, as we were discussing, over 2 years.
It's 6:17 and the Liverpool Echo poses a blunt question to anyone with information about the fatal shooting of Olivia Pratt-Corbell. The paper asks its readers to imagine Olivia's terror in her final moments, imagine her family's agony, and then imagine knowing something about this unspeakable crime but keeping quiet because you'd rather surrender our city to the thugs. It then asks the question, whose side are you on?
This morning's Mirror also has a picture of Olivia there, describing her death as unbearable.
The Daily Telegraph has an image of Olivia, but its lead story is about UK diplomats urging European leaders to keep supporting Ukraine amid the cost of living crisis.
And the most read story on the BBC News website overnight is about the dozens of people who were left stranded for hours inside the Channel Tunnel. Lots of them heading on holiday or heading back from holiday, but apparently a train from Calais to Folkestone broke down and passengers were eventually taken off the train. They had to walk inside the tunnel along an emergency service exit. Doesn't happen very often, that. It'll be frightening as well for those people, yeah.
And a book by Dame Deborah James, published after her death, has debuted at #1 in the UK bestsellers list. How to Live When You Could Be Dead, which was completed during the podcast host's final weeks, has sold over 40,000 copies since its release last Thursday. The book explores having a positive mindset in the face of adversity. And a British-Belgian teenager has become the youngest person to fly solo around the world in a small aircraft. 17-year-old Mac Rutherford landed just west of the capital of Bulgaria today after a 5-month journey through 52 countries. Well, next, after a disappointing summer for cinemas, there is hopes Idris Elba's new film will help lure audiences back to the silver screen.
Go back to the calls.
Dad, please! Beast is a thriller set on a South African game reserve. It sees the British actor taking on a crazed lion.